Day five, day five. Let's give each other a high five for day five. High five for day five. I know Rosie's back, Dawn's back. Some people had cameras on, off. It's all good. You're here. You're showing up. And the only thing that really it takes, the only thing it really takes for a week like this is just keep showing up. And we're going to keep going to the next step and the next step. And we're putting this beautiful foundation together for you to walk through into your triple power, into your trust ascension, into your space as a wildly impactful and contributing and high impact and abundant thought leader, right? Best-selling author. We crossed that line on day one. And now you're stepping in you stepped in from, day one, day two, day three. We've looked at everything from what's the big idea to what are the book outcomes that you want. We looked at how to put the book into a book map. We looked at how to write a press release for the book. Yesterday, we worked on the craft itself, how to make the writing riveting. Who did some homework? Did anyone take a story bank and then see if you could add one of our craft moves like specificity or detail, sensory elements, dialogue? So just put me, if you did anything on your book over between last night and now, you did something that you thought about your book map, you story banked, you worked on your craft. Yes. All right. I want to hear who else. Dana did some homework. Who else did something on your Sana? I love it. Way to go. That is awesome. It's a big deal. I got a writing wedge in. I thought I almost missed it because there were some other things that came up because we all have lives, right? And I said, I'm not coming back on this boot camp today without doing my writing wedge. Like it is on. So I got it done. All right. Yes, Dr. Bernadette did. Deborah did. Awesome. Great job. Absolutely crazy. Okay. Let's take a deep breath. Just affirm that you're right where you need to be, that the answer is in the room, that what you are seeking is seeking you. You're here for a reason, on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. And that purpose is, yes, to rise as a triple power, to create the message, the mission, the impact of the people you're here to serve, and to be prospered and rewarded in that process, to fulfill your destiny, to fulfill your legacy. So I'm just affirming that each of you get a breakthrough today from being here, and we continue the journey together in such a powerful way. So just breathe in and out. Yes. Just bring yourself fully into this moment. Okay. Yesterday, we kicked off the entire experience with the song Brave, right? Sarah Bareilles, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, right? The song Brave. And the truth is that you are all incredibly courageous. You are all incredibly courageous for being here, for sticking with this, for saying yes, and then staying in that yes. James clears that every decision we make is a vote for our future. And so by continuing with the boot camp, and remember, we've added tomorrow, we have a bonus session from 11 to 1 where we get to come together and do a write-in. We get to do some integration. We have some other activities that we're going to do tomorrow. So if you can join us, and we will record it, we'd love to have you there live with us. But today is a really big day. It's a magic 5. We're talking about monetizing the book, and it takes courage. Do you know it takes courage to be successful? Has anyone ever thought about that? Like, it actually takes courage, because to be successful, whatever that means to each of us, I said before, I think it means bringing forth the big magic within us and leaving it all on the field and doing what we came here to do. It takes courage to be visible, to write anything down, to share anything of ourselves with other people. So what I want to do right now is I want to just play something. Jill's going to play something for us to get us into state, to really acknowledge the courage that it takes to be a triple power, to be an artist, to be a creative, to be an author, to be a speaker, to be an expert. And we're just going to watch this. It's just a few minutes. And I want you to just take this. And if it's something you've seen before, this is one that I go to again and again and again when I want to feel committed to my vision. And we're going to watch it together. And then we're going to move into monetizing your book. I want to see in the chat before we play it, money sign, if you're excited to monetize your mission, you're excited to create financial abundance for yourself as a triple power, as you change lives and contribute positive things to the world. Okay. Yay. All right. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this abundance. All right, Jill, take it away. All right, everybody, let's just be with this. Open your hearts and let's.
Benj and Justin have just written this new song called This Is Me. And we knew that it was going to be the anthem of the film, but no one had heard it before. and no one had heard Kiala sing it live. Kiala, who I didn't even want to come out from behind the music stand.
I didn't.
I kept saying to her, just step out, because this is your moment and you have to step out into the ring, metaphorically, because that's what you're doing, and you got to stand right there in front of everyone and just belt this out.
And I didn't want to. In fact, I stood behind that music stand
Yeah.
until the day of that presentation. There was a moment in the song that I actually was so scared that I had to actually grab Hugh's hand so that I had somebody to hold on to. And then we got to the end of the number, and all I remember is just deafening applause. It was a sort of otherworldly experience.
It was one of those moments that will stay with me the rest of my life. Unfortunately, we filmed it.
Ooh. So just take a breath and notice what's moving within you. Yeah, how many of us are crying? I brought the Kleenex already because I knew. Why do we play that? We could just be talking about the next step in the writing, how to put the book together. I just woke up this morning and said, I got to watch this video. And I thought maybe somebody else here, one of you might have needed to see that too. It takes courage to be a thought leader. It takes courage to write a book. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to monetize your mission, to wade through all the junk that says we're not worthy, we can't, it hasn't worked in the past. It takes courage to say yes to making a leap into our family of success, our mentorship, our community, our roadmap, right? So I wanted to position that for us right here so that we can hold this in our hearts. Who is going to take the strength of that beautiful moment with those creative, beautiful artists in the room? I love how Hugh Jackman's like eating an apple in the beginning, and then he like has to stop and he's like crying. And I mean, it takes courage. So do you have the courage, as Elizabeth Gilbert says in Big Magic, to go all the way with what you came here to do? What drew you to be here this week? Do you have the courage to finish it? To do it and finish it. So I want to hear courage. Yes, yes, Jen. I know, Jen, we get to spend the next year together with you in Thought Leader Academy. I'm so grateful. Yes, Suzanne, you're in. It's the courage to finish. So I want to see courage to go all the way. And you can borrow the courage if you don't feel like you've had it, or you've been burned, or it hasn't worked and it's scary to try again. You can, we can source it together. Yes, yes, yes. I love this. You would not be here if you were not worthy and called and capable of doing what you came here to do. You would not be here. So we are going to talk about monetizing our books. We're going to talk about monetizing our mission now. But we're going to do it from the standpoint of remembering why this is important. Because just like Diana Nyad swimming from Cuba to Florida at 62, when she tried 8 times and failed, someone needs to see you write this book. Someone needs to see you on that podcast or that stage or whatever it is that you're called to show up. And someone needs to see you rise your abundance so that they know that it's possible. And maybe it's a couple someone's or hundreds of someone's or millions of someone's. It doesn't matter. You are here for a reason. We're here together for a reason. So let's just breathe a deep breath. And we're going to go into our content, and we're going to rise our abundance together and look at the possibilities, how we could put the next steps, because you want to write a book like we talked about on Wednesday, not just that you write a book that your mom and your cat read, but that lots of people find out about through your speaking and through building your audience and through monetizing your mission and running your leadership. This is leadership. We said we were going to take the whole thought leader pathway this week, and we are. Yeah, that our mom and our cat read. It's a bummer, man. We're like, we want to, otherwise we could just have a journal, right? You're here to write your book and bring your book forward and change lives. There's nothing wrong with the journal. Journals are great. Okay. So we're good. We know why we're doing this. We know why it matters. It doesn't just matter for us. Every piece of this, writing and speaking and building the audience and showing up for people and monetizing and leading our thoughts, is not just for us, it's for the world. When we rise, everybody rises. When we win, everybody wins. Okay. And if you haven't done your deposit and you do want to join us in Thought Leader Academy, please grab that now while I'm pulling up the visuals so that we can make sure you get access to everything that we're going to do in the coming year to support you every day, every week, every month, all the way through, all the way through. And we get to do that together. I'm so honored and excited for all of you that are already joining us. And you guys have this very special container, an opportunity for us to continue together in this powerful way with all of the special resources and bonuses. And we're so excited to continue with you. So Jill, if you'll share that link again for anybody that needed it, because we saw some messages in the chat, and then I'm going to pull these up here. Yeah, if you guys private message me, just message the team too, just in case I don't want to miss anything. All right, here we go. All right. So we see day 5. Are we on 5? Magic 5? 5, 5? All right, beautiful. Cody Sanchez, one of my favorite people right now, and in terms of people creating powerful thought leadership and just doing it her way and being an individual, the greatest muscle we can build is urgency. Decrease the time between having an idea and getting it done, and everything changes. That's what we're up to in the bootcamp, right? We're decreasing the, how many of you had the idea for your book for some time? Put T for time. If you've known for a while that you have a book in you, or a next book in you, or you've got a book midway and you haven't finished it. Yeah, that's why I've got a fire under my butt to finish this one I'm working on by Thanksgiving, because, you know, it shifted, it changed what I was writing, and it's like, it's time. It's time, right? Decrease the time between having an idea and getting it done, and everything changes. That's what we're about this week. That's what we're about over the next year together in Thought Leader Academy. Yeah, Rosie, for 30 years. All right, monetizing your book. This is so exciting. All right, so remember on the first day, and the second day even more so, we talked about all the ways that you could turn something you already do into a book, right? If you already have a program or a course or a signature talk or all the, you know, these different law practice, a methodology, a framework, a certain steps, you can turn that into a book. But what we're going to look at today is that you can also turn a book into many different things. And you can also take the things you already have and put the book in front of it and then scale your impact and revenue with that thing. All right. So we're going to talk about multiple ways to generate 6 to 7 figures with a book. That's $100,000 to $1 million with a book. This is not fantasy. This is not, this is something I have done that I've helped many, 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 many people do, and many people on the planet are doing. All right, so we're making an infinity loop. We can start with the book and turn the book into all of these other money generating things, or we can turn these money generating things into a book and then create this wonderful feedback loop. Okay, we can turn a book into a course. You might want to write your book and make a course out of it. You heard people like Audrey do that and Chris do that, all kinds of things. You might want to have your book lead to your coaching program, right? Either one you have, but you could also start one if you get excited about your new topic for your book, if you're doing something new. You can have your book be the foundation and the doorway and the magnet to a membership or a community where people get to come in and do some Q&A with you and explore and be together and support each other around something. You can have a book that leads to events like conferences and retreats. You can have a book that lets people know you are truly an expert and gets them inspired about what you're doing and go into one-on-one coaching or consulting or some kind of VIP experience with you. And you could also use your book, like many of you want to do, as a flag in the ground for paid keynote speaking, $20,000 keynotes, $10,000 keynotes, $15,000 keynotes, $50,000 keynotes, depending on what your background, your skills, your topics. All right, so there are many, many, many ways that the book can generate financial abundance. Now, what is maybe glaringly, obviously not on this list? If we're talking today about how to generate abundance through a book, what would logically be on this list that I did not put on the list? See if anyone can guess. You would see what might be surprising to not have on here. Well, nowhere on this list is book sales. Exactly. Adriana and Deborah got it right. Now, of course, book sales are wonderful. I love getting royalties. I've bought plane tickets, taken my family on trips. There's certain times I make a lot of money through selling books. If I have a book coming out, sometimes, a book is just on a slow burn back burner. It's been out for a while. But here's the thing. What I really want for you, what Marietta wants for you, what our team wants for you, what your Thought Leader Academy friends probably want for you with us now, is that to be bonus, that to be extra, that to be fun on top of having some kind of high ticket, we're going to call high ticket, like in the thousands of dollars, other thing, because the deal is like books are just only a few dollars a book by the time Amazon takes their part and discounts it. You know what I mean? It's wonderful. And with high volume, it's certainly amazing abundance. We're not discounting it, but I purposely didn't write that down because I want everybody to be thinking, those of you that feel called to train with us, what we want for you is to be able to see a real rise in your financial abundance that's significant, that quickly and easily covers the cost of the investment in the training and the book publication and all of those things. So that's why I'm pointing us in this particular direction. There's many people that we work with who already have some of these things, and they're using the book to scale those things, to get more industry leadership, more visibility, to charge more for those things. Because once you're a best-selling author, you can charge more for the things that you already do. But lots of people also have come in to train with us that don't have any of these things. Maybe you've worked in a corporate job, you've been retired, you just have never thought about having some other kind of thing. And we are committed. And in the first 90 days of Thought Leader Academy, those of you continuing on with us, we're going to figure out what this looks like. And we'll help you create some if you don't already have it. And if you have something, we'll help you scale it. It's really important to me as someone who grew up with deep and wounded cycles of unworthiness and poverty in my family, of neglect and lack, of scarcity and limitation. It is so important to me that we break the cycle collectively of starving artists and broke healers and struggling coaches and challenge financially under earning entrepreneurs. You all are too awesome at what you do. So just put R for resonance in the chat if this resonates with you. It doesn't have to. You can ignore this piece and do the other parts of the book camp and do your book. It is all good. But does it resonate with you that you want to put the puzzle pieces together? And guess what? It's not just about the money for you, right? It's not just about the money for you. It's to show others what's possible and to give them the ultimate transformation. Because we talked in the VIP room yesterday that people can get great ideas from a book. They can get inspired. They can start their transformation. But usually, exactly, Suzanne, we are not able to make the full impact if they won't do something further with us. So really, the money is of service to the ultimate transformation to the planet that you're here to make. That's what I believe. You feel free to, those of you that know me, I am fine with you going, I don't agree, F off, it's okay. I'm just offering this to you as what I see as a crucial puzzle piece, which is why we don't just teach the book, why we have the whole thought leader pathway, right? Okay. So how does this happen? I want you to decide for yourself, where do you want to receive the abundance as a thought leader? Do you want it to come through book sales? Do you want it to come through courses or programs? Do you want to have it come through some other kind of service, events, products? Let's all think of at least one way so that this can become real, and I can show you the mechanics of how the book can help do this. If it isn't only about book sales, how is the book the integral piece to this abundance? So just take a minute and think about, how would you ultimately love the money to come to you? Could be one of these or more than one or something else. And if you want to share in the chat, just to start anchoring it in, people that write down a goal or a vision are 80% more likely to have it be fulfilled. And you can keep this private, but if you know, it's like, I would love to do retreats. I would love to do coaching. I would love to scale. You could say scale if you want to scale what you already do and have it be more profitable. Or you can say the thing if you want to create something new that would go with your book. Yeah, Sophia, one-on-one coaching and retreats. Awesome. I love that. Scaling your programs and design, Suzanne, beautiful. Yes. Retreats and podcasts, Rosie, beautiful. Just like our book outcomes, we kind of want to know what it is we want to be doing so that we know what I'm going to show you next. What's the mechanism to have the book help you do this? Okay, so keep thinking about that. Now I'm going to bring us back to the high converting thought leader book framework. It's not the framework everybody is doing. Oh, how fun. Penny, you're going to be teaching your book content as an event on a cruise ship. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. That is so, so fun. How joyful. All right. So high converting thought leader book. Let's bring us back. If you're not using this, it's okay. But I just want to show you the mechanism. You can still do this in a novel or a memoir, other things. but it's really, really fun to do the way to drive or draw people and lead people from your book into doing one of those things that you're just writing in the chat is to use the framework of the High Converting Thought Leader book. And how we specifically do it. Yeah, Lorraine, you use this work in Thought Leader Academy to book your retreat in Costa Rica. Exactly. Okay. So what you're going to want to think about is inserting a high value resource somewhere. Typically, if you're using the SSS model of the book outline, you're going to use it in the second S. If your book map is the SSS, in the second S, which is the situation, the stakes, you're going to invite people to do something interactive with you that fits and makes sense for your book. I'm going to give some examples. And in order to access this free, awesome, high value thing, they're going to give you their name and email. Okay. When someone buys a book, we have no way to connect with them. We can't pour into them. We can't find out how they're doing. We can't love on them. We can't invite them to further transformation. They're reading the book, and the book can do so much. But this is really where we try to turn on the rocket fuel when you give people. Now, this could be a quiz or an assessment, like in the book Profit First. Mike Michalowicz says, if you want to find out how effed you are and your profitability, click here. He puts the quiz questions in the book. It's not like he's withholding anything. But how many of you would rather fill out the cool quiz and get a personalized report that breaks down your specific results? I definitely would. If I'm reading a book and it's like the passion test. I want to know my passion results. I'm going to go to give them their name and email, and then I'm going to get my results from the passion test. It could be a recipe, some kind of template, a workbook, an email sequence like Mel Robbins did for the 5-second rule. She's going to come in your inbox every day and give you some motivation and get you fired up. Not in the book bonus material, a ticket to an event. All right, so I'll show you some more examples like on screen of these. So you're going to think about something that's valuable to your person that makes sense to them, that would be worth it to them to access this by giving you their name and email, right? So assessment, a quiz, a profit calculator, something like that. And here's a template. If you're going to do a quiz, this is one of my favorites. Find out in less than 5 minutes if you are, and then you're going to fill in the blank of like the desired result that your book is helping them, something they can get aware of with this online quiz. You'll receive a custom strategy straight to your email. So you want to link it to a benefit so you can raise your profitability, so you can scale your business to the next level, so you can have a meaningful conversation with your spouse tonight, even when you've been in conflict, so that you can be present with your child, so that you can lose 5 pounds this week or whatever it would be, right? So you could do a quiz or assessment. These are very popular because everyone's favorite subject is usually themselves. Okay, you all are very generous people, so we're a little different here. But a lot of people want to find out. I love it. I just met with someone who's our YouTube strategist who's working on this new project with us. And she did my whole astrological chart this morning and gave me a reading of how it applies to business and my vocation. It was such a delightful surprise. I enjoyed it immensely. It was really interesting. Okay. Now, one of our authors, Jennifer Luddington, she wanted to do something really interactive in the pre-sale of her book because she wanted to hit the bestseller list in pre-sale. It's a strategy we teach. And she wanted to grow her email list significantly so that she could sell out a new coaching program. And she didn't want to wait for the book to be finished. So she created this thing, these duality dares. And so every day, if someone gave their name and email, she was going to send them a dare, like a courageous thing that they were going to do, and to get out of these, kind of systems and sort of patriarchal things that she was writing about in the book. She grew her email list by 30% in pre-order, hit the bestseller list in pre-order, and then she filled up her coaching practice, right? So think about it. She had to run ads for that. It would have been really expensive, but she was able to use this resource for her book even before in a sample free, first chapter, because she wanted to really hit these measurables in pre-order, prove to herself, trust ascension, that the book was worth it. You could do what David Goggins did, and in addition to what he wrote in his book, You Can't Hurt Me, which was a massive, big, powerful book, that a leadership book and personal growth book, and he did not in the book extra content. So you could go and get access to, he and his ghostwriter were talking, and you get all this cool behind the scenes. I was all in for that. I was like, this man is unbelievable. His story's breaking my heart, but I'm so inspired. I want the stuff that's not in the book. you can lead to an event. So Denise Duffield-Thomas, she gave an assessment. You can find out your 7 money blocks. Do we have any of the blocks? People want to take that. And then they got a ticket to her workshop where she's able to nurture them and create the transformation. And many of those people invested in her high ticket coaching and her money club. Okay, so you can go to an event. How many of you feel like you have lots of ideas? Like there's all kinds of things you think your reader might enjoy. Like they might enjoy a workbook and also a meditation and also a quiz, and you're kind of getting multiple ideas. So put M for multiple. If you can think of multiple things that could be really cool, you could imagine your readers really wanting from your book. That's what happened for me in my last 2 books. I wanted to give meditations, visualizations. I wanted to record videos for them. I wanted them because I wanted the book to be transformational, right? Not just inspirational. And so I got really excited to do what we call in Thought Leader Academy a book portal. So there's QR codes in the book when we get to a meditation. And I just simply say to the reader, hey, if you don't want to have to read this meditation and do the meditation, just scan here. I'll guide you through it myself. And then they can come watch the video of it. And I had all the resources together in one place. I got inspired by this from Vishen Lakhani's book, Code of the Extraordinary Mind. He's the founder of Mind Valley, and he had all kinds of neat meditations and a workbook, and I definitely wanted that. While I was reading the book, I went right there to the portal, and I said, ooh, you could do a whole portal. So we created the Science of Getting Rich for Women portal, and people gave their name and email. The phone number was optional, and once they put that in, it's completely free. They got brought into a whole world of the book. There were interviews with all the self-made women millionaires. There was their book tour. They could come on tour and meet up with us in real life. There was the free workbook, abundance visualizations and trainings, all kinds of resources. And you can add to your book portal an option for people to have a consultation with you, to talk with you, to do see if it's a good fit for them to come to your event or sign up for your course. You can have people book, some of our clients just have people book, enroll in their course right from the book portal. Okay, so for those of you that have a number of different resources, I wanted people to be immersed in the world of this book and to give them many, many, many resources to use along the way so they really got results. And those of you that were in VIP yesterday, people were like, what if you give all your best stuff? Why would they need to still coach with you? We had, people that have come to us through this book, it's still happening. The book came out in 2022. It's 2 years later. And we had someone this summer who just accidentally found this book online because she was searching for Wallace Wattles' book, The Science of Getting Rich. And she said, oh, The Science of Getting Rich for Women. It's interesting. I'm going to get that book. And she read the book and then went to the book portal and then called up and said, I'd like to work with you together. There was a lot in that book, but there was still more, right? There was still more that she wanted. So Perry Grossman, she did an interview book. I mentioned her on day 2, right? She wanted to use her book resource she wanted to land paid speaking engagements. So that was less about a whole portal with all these different activities. But what she did is she had the QR code lead to her TEDx talk and so that people could read this, say, oh, we've got to book her. She's amazing. I like the topic of this book. She's great on stage. And it took them to a page that showcased her speaking. And she made 6 figures the week of her book launch because she went on podcasts. And then people called up and said they wanted to book her. Some for coaching, even though she wasn't purposely trying to do it for coaching, okay? Donna Kendrick, who some of you know, she spoke at our event in Chicago, right? Donna came in, she did the boot camp. She said, I'm going to write the book in 12 weeks. She had 6 children under the age of, they're all under the age of 18, 6 children living in the house. And she wrote this book in 12 weeks. And then she opened the door. She wanted to get out and really help people who've been widowed, people who've gone through a divorce, rise their financial situation. So she booked virtual speaking engagements, some media appearances, and someone saw her on one of these and invested in the company. She was able to scale her company, exponential growth in less than 6 months. Okay, so we can use the book. I'm just showing how that was something you can attract an investor through your book, right? I didn't even put that on the list, but that's what happened with her. The key is that you want to use this book, right, as the flag in the ground and as the door opener so that you can turn this into media features. And these are our clients who have, used the book as the door opener for TEDx. And how does that, you don't get paid for TEDx, but when people saw Dr. Marie Christina do her TEDx talk and that she'd work with, the NASA equivalent in Russia of the space program and develop this technology to help people balance their energy, their chakras, heal trauma, then she got reached out to and scaled her business, right? So whether it's using the book to get on, TV or in the print media or on stages, whatever it is, right? That turns into abundance because people see you and want to work further with you, right? So that's the thought leader pathway. So I just want to show you what some of our clients are doing so you can get ideas. And I want you to be writing these down and saying, I am one with that. Okay. Have you seen anything between what Perry did or what Donna did or what Molly and Sarah and Dr. Marina and Michelle Thames on this are doing? Do you see anything here that sparks for you that's like, yes, I would like that. And this is how it channels the 6 to 7 figures a year, because we're not just relying on book sales. We're talking about all these like bigger impact things that we can do. Okay. So let's just review the strategy, because the big thing today is how are you going to monetize? You are going to put something in your book that creates an interactive experience where someone's going to go from your book into a bigger part of your world, whether that's a book portal, whether it's a single PDF download that you can then follow up with them and say, how did that work for you? I'm here for you. Is there any other way I can serve and support you? Whether that leads to an event that you're hosting, whether it leads to a speaking engagement you want to do. All right. So for ideas for this resource, if you're going to use just a single resource, or for ideas for your book portal, you can brainstorm. This is your homework tonight. Where do your people, the people that you're here to serve or that you want to serve, get stuck? What do they complain about? What's hard for them? What's their number one goal? What could be a win? 2 great places to create opt-in, these interactive resources are either someone's challenge or someone's dream. Where have we heard this before? Day 1, it's in the Venn diagram of the best-selling book, right? So thinking about one of my highest converting interactive resources is a resource I created to help people get booked for speaking engagements. Because how many of you really want to speak more, but you wouldn't feel super confident pitching yourself to speak? Just put P for pitching if that feels like something that feels challenging for those of you that want to speak. It's like, oh, how do I really position myself? What do I say? How do I let someone know I'd be a really good right? Well, a lot of people I serve and I myself used to get very stuck there. So we created, those of you in Thought Leader Academy, you have this. Those of you joining, you will get this as part of your resources. We have a very, very clear 6-step pitch template. It's like Mad Libs. And I make it simple. You can just fill in the sections and send it. We have booked thousands of speaking engagements collectively, podcasts, stages, conferences, paid speaking, free speaking, using these 6 steps. So when I give that as an interactive resource, if I'm writing a book and talking about speaking and I say, hey, if you want my 6-step pitch that has booked thousands of speaking engagements for myself and our clients, go here. A lot of people are, if they're interested in speaking, are going to go there. Right? So I built that out of where do people get stuck? Where did I used to get stuck? Or it can be their goal. One of our biggest converting opt-ins that I ever worked with someone on was a nutritionist. And I share this example all the time because it blew my mind. And all her people wanted to stay on their food plan when they traveled, but they would go on a trip and they'd be at the buffet on the cruise or the wedding and they'd just like go off the rails and their food would go crazy and they would then have a really hard time getting back on track. So she created 5 days to eating healthy and eat where on the road. Literally, she's like, if you're in a 7-Eleven, I will show you what to eat. If you are in a gas station on the side of the road, if you're at McDonald's, like I will show you what to eat so that you don't, fall off your plan. It went berserk. She generated 12,000 opt-ins from that. 12,000. Okay. So I'm just saying like this, if you're kind of like, what would I even do? Your homework tonight before our write-in tomorrow is to think about what would be your interactive resource. And remember, you're not just giving the whole thing, you're inviting people to give their name and email so that you can send it to them, but that's so you can have a relationship. Most people cannot implement on their own. I can't. I have 2 coaches. I take courses. I have accountability partners. I have someone I'm talking to every single day just so I make sure I get my writing done. And it's not because I'm an idiot, I don't think. I think it's because it's a lot to stick with our vision and stick with our commitments and show up. Like Ruby, you were talking about that. Be disciplined, right? So name an email. If you have any, like, how do I set this up and automate it and whatever, those of you in Thought Leader Academy, we have links for you of how to, if you want to do a quiz, what are the apps that create the quiz for you and automate the results? If you want to do this, we can help you with all. Okay. So your homework tonight is going to be, what high value interactive resource are you going to create that relates to your book, that would be valuable and juicy for your ideal client, and that is going to incentivize someone and motivate them to want to take a next step with you and be part of your world. Yes, and Marietta is going to literally, she's genius at this. If you don't know what yours is and you get stuck, use that link right now to book a time with Marietta, and you've opened up your calendar for this afternoon. You can talk about what is your resource. Okay, does anyone already have an idea? If you do, just put it in the chat, because your idea might inspire someone else to their idea. And to come back where I can see you guys. Okay, Suzanne, awesome. You're thinking like to do an assessment. Those are really, really, really popular. We love filling them out. We like taking quizzes. We like learning about ourselves. We like understanding more about our potential or our challenges, right? Symptoms checklist, Ruby. I love that. Yes, checklists are awesome. That's fantastic. And you can also think back to yourself, like, what have you ever clicked on? Like, was there a resource you ever wanted, whether it was on social media or in a book or somewhere else? Yeah. So again, your work here, let's take 2 minutes and just brainstorm for yourself. Ooh, Suzanne, you're outside. That looks so nice and autumnal. I love seeing those trees. Okay, so I want everyone to take 2 minutes. Jill, maybe you can put on some just nice flutes music for us. Let's just take 2 minutes and brainstorm. And we can brainstorm in the VIP room today. Marietta will brainstorm with you later if you need it. We will help all of you find a resource to do, okay? So just take 2 minutes and think about, what is it that would be really cool, that would go with your book, that you could offer or create. 2 minutes. Let's take a breath now. Come on back to the main group. So good. This is just to get some thoughts started, because your homework tonight, you can, of course, continue story banking, all that, is to think about what this might be. And again, we're totally here to support you in the VIP room, one-on-one, tomorrow at the write-in. Thank you, Jill, for that beautiful music. So listen, I have one more that I forgot about that might be of interest to anybody, especially sometimes with people writing fiction and writing poetry books and other types of books, but this works for thought leader books as well. Another really cool interactive resource is you can create a book club kit. And so this has two really, really neat benefits. So you can, what is a book club kit? You basically say, if you scan this QR code or go to this link, we have a book club guide. So it's like you give the host, you know, a little questions for discussion, or maybe a little treat, a little idea for, we've had authors do like create a signature mocktail or cocktail to go with the book. Like they make a recipe for that, or like an hors d'oeuvre, you know, something that like a food item that would match. Like here's the recipe, here's a suggestion, here are questions for discussion, even like dress up ideas. We had one of our thought leader clients, was a military spouse. She lived all over the world and been moving with the American military with her husband. And all of the military bases, they had like spouse groups that hosted book clubs. And she said the rule on the bases were that you had to do an icebreaker at these book clubs. It was like required that you had to create an icebreaker. And she's like, everyone just couldn't stand it, because it's like, oh, who can think of another icebreaker for these, you know, book clubs? And, you know, it was kind of this dreaded thing. So we helped her create a book club kit, which is just digital, right? It didn't cost anything. It was just this digital little thing where she gave the icebreaker ideas for the host of the military book club groups, and then shared this out across the Facebook groups around the world for the military spouses. And that worked really, yes, you could do a support group kit as well. It doesn't have to be a book club, but you could have, so depending on your style and what your book's about and your creativity, the first benefit is this is really fun, you know, for people, because they get ideas how they would, you know, what they would do for the book club around your book. But the second thing it does is that it has people want to pick your book for their book club. It suggests, oh, this should be my next book club pick, or my business group is reading, you know, books together, or whatever it is. And you can even, some of our authors have, you can put an option for someone to book you to come via Zoom to their book club. So now they've got the author is at the Zoom. I've gone in person and Zoomed in for people's book clubs of my books. And it is such an honor and so much fun. And then you have people interacting with you and wanting to know more and possibly working with you. So do we see how like these ideas, like these are the pathways to the financial abundance above and beyond selling a book, right? Dana, you were thinking a support group for support group. Yes. So the ideas are crackling. Who put I for idea if you got any kind of an idea so far? You had any ideas sort of sparked? Some of you obviously, like, I need time. Sometimes I need to just like meditate or vision or take a walk. But okay, so we've got some thoughts. I love it. And in VIP today, we can brainstorm more together. Those of you that are doing that, so that, you know, we can continue sharing ideas. Okay, amazing, amazing. So what we get to do now is sort of pull our journey together so far. We're adding tomorrow's bonus day. We're having a write-in tomorrow, 11 to 1 Eastern time. So we're not done. We're not finished. I know some of you might have weekend plans, so we'll record that for you. But that's a really special time where we can get, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do a writing wedge. We're gonna get in an up vibe. I'm gonna kind of teach you a little writing ritual to get in the creative zone. We're gonna stimulate our brain waves into an alpha theta state so that we can get into the genius zone. We can do a writing wedge. And then some of you are just going to write. You're just on a roll. You're ready to just put this into action. And if any of you would like support around your success plan, figuring out your roadmap, your mentorship, your community, we know those are the three things that are going to take us all the way, assure our success, make us unstoppable. So for any of you that want support around generating the abundance for your deposit and for Thought Leader Academy, or for whatever editing you're going to invest in, or you want support around making a powerful decision, we'll have options for that as well. So think of it like we're going to go on a little writing retreat together, a writing and abundance retreat together tomorrow. Yay. Okay. I'm glad some of you can come. I know I love it too. I love write-ins. They're really special. And we're excited to get to have more time with you all. All right. So what I want to do now is pull in everything we've done this week. We started with what's the big idea? And where do I want this book to take me? So I want you to just anchor. I'm just gonna take us, it's gonna take like 2 minutes. We're gonna go through the pathway. And I want you to acknowledge what you have grown and discovered and explored this week. So first step, we were like, what is the big idea? And what are the doors I want this book to open for me, others, in the world? So I want you to just remind yourself, just kind of pull that in, really integrate. Okay. And so just give me a little wave or put yes in the chat if you feel like, yes, I remember like my big idea and my main outcomes for myself, others, and the world. The doors I want this book to open so that I can open more doors for other people. All right. Beautiful. Dominic's got it. And just breathe into that. Those of you that have yours just called up, just feel them pulsing. Feel your sense of conviction growing that the whole universe is supporting you in these outcomes and supporting this transformation that you're here to create through your thought leadership. Okay. And we also talked at the beginning about the fact that we're in a trust recession. People have lost trust with themselves, lost trust with things they've invested in. They've lost trust that they'll follow through. They've lost trust with our leaders. They've lost trust with the state of the world. And so our work here is bigger than the book. It is truly rising a trust ascension, trusting ourselves to stay with it, to go all the way, trusting the process, trusting the roadmap, whatever roadmap was our roadmap or some other roadmap that you decide to choose, that you're trusting your roadmap. You're being in that mentorship in that community, that family of success. You've identified that and stepped into that. And then we looked at what goes in this book, right? That's your book map. Are you doing the SSS thought leader book? Are you doing a novel? Are you with the hero's journey or Shiro's journey? What is the structure and the kind of book that you're writing? So put B for book when you are re-anchoring in what type of book you're writing. Thought leader book, novel, memoir. All right, anchoring in that. And then we talked about story banking so that we don't face a blank page. We talked about ways we can dictate the book. We talked about ways that we can do research online and through AI, not writing the book with AI, but online research with AI to help us expedite our research and giving the book depth and helping bring home the situation, the stakes. And we talked about story banking so that we can never have to face the blank page. And we just say, oh, I'm pulling the next story bank. It goes in the first S, the second S, or the third S. And I can just take my walk and get the next part of my book done, or, drive wherever I'm driving and get the next part of my book done and expedite. Instead of the book taking 3 years, it can take 3 months. For some of you, it'll take less than 3 months. All right. And then we talked about what it's going to take again in order to go from that future press release that you wrote to making that your reality. You need to absolutely by tomorrow decide for yourself what you're going to use as your roadmap, your mentorship, and your community. I spent 2 decades fantasizing, envying, wanting, pretending, wishing, hoping to be a published author and pay forward the gift that other authors had given me. And it wasn't until I had the roadmap and the mentorship in the community that it actually happened. All right, so we talked about that. And then we looked at how to make the writing riveting by using sensory detail and specificity and dialogue, the craft itself, and how to make the time. Did anyone do a wedge? Did anyone just do a writing wedge? I did one before this boot camp because I promised I would. So the wedges, time that we would have thrown away that we reclaim now for the book. We can time schedule, we can time log. There's always a way. Right? And then today we talked about our courage and we talked about the ways to monetize the book and how to let the book be the doorway to that abundance. All right. So what I want to end on, we started today with a powerful reminder of the courage that you have shown by coming here, the courage you're going to keep showing as you go all the way with this book, even if it feels challenging, even if you don't feel like you have the time, even if it's all the things, you're going to do it anyway. You're going to go all the way because we crossed the line and we said we would, and decisions determine our destiny, and you've decided. And so let's just reinforce that decision. This will prime us for a great write-in, prime us for a great VIP session later. And so what I want to do is I'm going to pull up a song. Some of you know this is a little bit of I don't know what we call tradition. This is a little bit of a boot camp tradition that's developed. And if you know this, the words are going to go on the screen. We're not just going to play the song. We're going to dance it out. And if as soon as the song ends, we'll go to VIP if you're in the VIP room. And if you know this, you can sing along. And if you don't, you can just look at the words and let this come over you. I like to stand for this. I feel like it's just like let's get in our power and yeah, Nancy knows what it is. This is one of our favorites. Okay. And so I want you to stand in this and remember crossing that line. All right. Remember crossing the line. And I want you to feel your commitment, your power, your courage rise so that you can say yes to whatever that roadmap, community, and mentorship that you're going to choose to go all the way. Are we ready? Let's do it. Let's do it. Awesome job, everyone. Yes, Josh, we're going to send you the link. We're going to send you the link. Josh couldn't hear. You were with us, Josh. Maybe you're already such an embodied champion. You were like, I've got this. But well, there it is. If anyone wants that for later, the link is in the chat. Thank you, Jill. Woo! So breathe. We're going to go over to VIP in a minute, or those of you completing for today will be on tomorrow at 11 Eastern. But here's what I want to do. As we take in that song, did anyone feel something? You feel any tingles? Yeah, Deborah's like, I'm ready, roar. So you were born for this. You were born for this. You were born to be the leader that the world needs right now, and to create a trust ascension and to rise yourself as a triple power so that everyone can rise too. So I want you to think for a moment, close your eyes, and imagine if your favorite, call to mind a favorite author or leader, visionary. And imagine if they had let their gremlins talk them out of fulfilling their purpose. And they had never written that book or got on that stage or made that video that found you on that destined day to change your life. Because the thing is that they didn't think they were worthy either. They didn't think they knew what they were doing. They didn't think they had it all figured out. They didn't have people telling them they were perfect and genius, and they didn't have people throwing money at them and making it easy. And the only difference between these people that we all know, some of them by a single name like Brene or Oprah, and where you are right now, is that they said yes. And they stayed in their yes and they went for it. They didn't do it alone. It just doesn't work to do it alone. So let's just open our hearts now, and I affirm that each of you know exactly what your perfect next step is. You know exactly what your success plan is. And that you feel the unleashing of the full support of the universe to move you forward. And know that if your heart and your success plan is with us, that we are going to have an absolutely incredible, magical, amazing, epic time over these next 3 months. So just feel that person that changed your life handing you the torch. And what would it be like if you really believed and you took this torch and said, yes, I will take my place with you. I will carry on this mission of impact. I will rise to who I fully came here to be. I'm going to go all the way. And what would it be like to just see yourself a year from now, holding your book in your hand, seeing your calendar filled with all those writing sessions and that were actually, like Rachel shared this week, were actually fun. Your bank accounts prospered and expanded. And your emails are full of the subject line, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is what I needed. And that you had fun doing it. So just notice what's better and different and new in your life because you stayed in your yes and you took the torch and you rose to your full destiny. Just take a deep breath. And give yourself some love for showing up so big and to know that you're going to keep showing up. And I love, Dawn, that you shared Stephen King threw the book, the manuscript for Carrie in the trash, and his wife dug it out and said, don't stop. Continue. Some of us have put our dreams in the trash, right? We've trashed them by negative self-talk, by imposter syndrome, by abandoning them, giving them fumes, giving them crumbs. And so just imagine your future self is handing that back to you and saying, continue. All right? So really good work today. Your homework, keep story banking. Have fun creating your resource. VIP, I'll see you right now. Everybody else, 11 tomorrow. All right, have a great afternoon. Really good job. See you then.